Which Captain Marvel title will rank higher?
We have 2 Captain Marvel.
Shazam.
Oh.
And welcome back to the channel, everybody. I'm Brant.
I'm Lisa.
And this is Brant versus Lisa. Top 5 comics of the week, where we rank and rate the books that we talked about earlier in the week. If you missed that video, go check out the card that's up here somewhere, or check out the description below, and go see what our anticipated comics were, because those are the ones we're going to talk about.
I guess we'll find out.
Yes.
If they just want to watch it.
Speaking of which, those comics are Buffy, the Vampire Slayer issue number 2, Shazam number 3, West Coast Avengers number 8.
I gotta hear it myself. Go ahead.
That is not one of our books. Captain Marvel, Braver and Mightier number 1, I believe it is called. Yeah. And Action Comics 1008. Those are the 5 comics. And you went first with the anticipated, I believe. So okay. I will go first with my number 5, which I gave 3 stars, which is Captain Marvel, Braver and Mightier.
That's exactly my ranking.
Wow.
As well.
Interesting. Good book.
Yeah.
It was a fun story. Great art.
The art. It was really good in some places, and in other places it looked like it was a different person. I don't understand, because it didn't say that it was.
Yeah.
Just a few pages here and there.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I thought it was a fun story, but again, it was just kind of this, okay, it's there.
Yeah, it was definitely filler.
Yeah.
And just a quick history of her character for the people that haven't been reading it or don't know who she is before the movie.
Yeah. Which is good, because, I mean, if you don't know all the various incarnations of Carol Danvers and why she is who she is now and how she got there, it's kind of a cool story.
I liked the pages where the art really was shining, and it had a lot of room to breathe.
Yeah.
Like, the panels were big, not a super amount of text on those certain pages that were just gorgeous.
Yeah.
Mostly that scene in space.
Right. Yeah.
There was like a double page.
Where she's facing off against all the alien ships.
Yeah. And there were a few panels, really standout panels there.
Yeah. So it's a fun story. If you're a Captain Marvel fan, Carol Danvers fan, you'll definitely want to check this out. But it's probably one that you can skip.
Yes.
It's not a necessary book, but it was a decent read.
Yeah.
So.
The kids were good.
Yeah.
It was good.
Yeah.
That's why I got
3 stars. Exactly. All right. So what's your number 4?
My number 4 is Action Comics.
Okay.
Whatever number it is.
1008.
1008. I gave it 3.5.
Okay.
Just because there was very little Superman in this Superman book. There were like 3 pages or something that he was on. It was mainly backstory of Jimmy and Lois, and what's her name? Amanda Waller.
And Sam Lane.
So I knew who all those people were, so that was helpful. I didn't know who the Bone guy was.
Oh, I didn't know who he was either.
Or the other guy that saved them all there.
Oh, you don't know Adam Strange?
No.
Oh, okay.
So those were like, and then.
What did you think of the overall story of this whole Leviathan thing, where it's taking out all these organizations in the DC
It's
universe?
Interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's not bad. I didn't know anything about the lizard people.
Yeah, that's the Cobra cult, I guess.
Okay.
I'm not that familiar with it
myself. I
myself.
probably might have liked it better if I'd been reading it all along.
But it's only been 2 issues.
So that's only been going on for 2 issues?
This particular story.
So Jimmy just randomly is hooking up with his lizard girl?
Yeah.
Okay, well then I guess.
Yeah, you've read the whole story. It
all
started
right.
last issue. Yeah.
Never mind then.
Up until then, it was this whole red cloud thing. It was a completely different story.
Okay,
so yeah.
That's strange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was trying to investigate a story.
Okay.
That's where it came from.
All right.
Alright, so my number 4 is actually West Coast Avengers number 8, which
really?
I gave 3.5 stars.
Okay.
I love this book. You know that. I've loved every single issue. Most issues have landed in my top 5. This issue I felt was a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Not filler, but kind of a transitional story. It was more, I don't know.
We're setting up the next arc.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant by transitional. It's kind of setting up the next arc. You got some nice little character moments. I like the stuff with Gwenpool kind of daydreaming about the land shark and all that. That was kind of fun. Yeah. You didn't get enough of her with Quentin this issue, which is one of the highlights of the book, I think. And you got a little bit too much of the, we're just standing around kind of doing nothing kind of thing.
A little bit.
Yeah, so just, not the best issue of the series, but still a very good issue.
Yeah.
I still enjoyed it quite a bit. So.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so you're number 3 then.
Number 3 was Buffy. Number 2.
Okay. Our lists are completely different this week. It's interesting. Okay.
I liked it better than the last issue.
Okay.
So it's getting there.
Mm-hmm.
The likenesses were a lot better in this one.
Yeah.
He's getting his groove.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
I don't know who Cordelia is.
Okay.
Is that her name?
Yes.
So I just assume she's a nice person. Maybe she's not actually.
See, that's the interesting thing, and I'll talk about it later, but it's the interesting thing because in the original she was kind of a mean girl.
That's what
she
I
was,
thought she might be, but then she didn't turn out to be that. She was really
so
nice
far.
through the whole thing.
Yeah.
But Spike shows up and I know him and his likeness is really good.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah, she was like in that first episode of Buffy. She was nice to Buffy because she related to Buffy, but then she was trashing Willow and Xander and all the losers.
Yeah.
So they didn't get to that. They may be going a different route with her this time, so I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out. She eventually became their friend, but anyway.
I like that scene with her and Spike in the forest. It was good.
Made her a little bit gullible, but yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. Hi, stranger. Everything's good. See ya. My number 3 is Shazam. Number 3, which I gave 4 stars. So.
I gave it 4 as well. It's my number 2.
Okay. I really like this issue, and you were kind of like, because it's an amusement park.
Yeah.
You didn't know if I was going to like it or not, but I like it because it reminded me of Neverland a little bit.
Yeah.
It was kind of a dark twist on Neverland.
It was.
And even like with Pedro wearing one of those masks and them eating food and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, this is very Lost Boys, very that kind of vibe, but then King Kid being the Peter Pan figure kind of took a turn out of Once Upon a Time. It became Dark Peter Pan. And, so I thought it was a fun story, and it introduced us to the other Magic Lands, a little bit, and we're going to get to see more of those next issue, so I had fun with it.
It was really funny because last night I watched the Nutcracker and the Four Realms, and it reminded me of that a lot, the different lands.
Yeah.
He didn't watch it, but they're like Flower Land and Candy, Sweet Land, or I forget all the land names.
Yeah.
But it was like just like that, only there were 7 here.
That's funny. Alright, so then my number 2 is Buffy, which I also gave 4 stars. I liked the first issue a little bit better, actually. I did like what they did with Cordelia, and they totally took Xander and Willow in completely different directions.
Yeah, I liked the Xander stuff because that's definitely leading somewhere.
Yeah, and if you bring that into the modern age with the texting and everything, that's it. It kind of seems like that would be it, because before he would just brood in his basement, wouldn't say anything to anybody, but you're sitting here typing, and then he erases it and retypes it. I thought that was like really fitting with the modern age, and especially because now Willow isn't always around like she was back then. They were like inseparable.
Yeah.
But now she's got Rose, so it's changing the dynamic a little bit. So
is Rose a new character? Did I ask you that already?
You did not ask me that, but as far as I know, yes.
She's not in the...
Well, I mean, I never finished the show.
Oh, okay.
I stopped after season 4. I got burnt out, but I skipped around and watched. I watched the end, and I watched a little bit of season 5 and a couple episodes of season 6. But so I don't know if she's actually in it or not. So I apologize for that. I was late to the Buffy train, and season 4 kind of really burned me. So anyway, all right. So your number 1 then is
West Coast Avengers.
Which you gave?
4.5, but it was probably generous.
Okay.
It was. Those 3 were all very close for me. Buffy, Shazam, and West Coast. So I couldn't put it above Buffy. I couldn't put Buffy above West Coast Avengers after I really liked it last time.
That is true. Yeah.
The end was interesting. I wasn't really seeing that coming.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
And I agree. I like the Quentin and Gwenpool stuff the best.
Yeah.
I could have done without the what is it? Hawkeye's mom and all that stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know.
That's a carryover from the Hawkeye series into this series, and it's just like this long running thing because she was thought dead for a really long time.
Yeah. Is that her name? That's not her name, is it?
Who? Kate?
Kate.
Yeah, she's Hawkeye. They're both Hawkeye.
They're both Hawkeye?
They're both Hawkeye.
Okay.
It gets really confusing.
Yeah, that is very confusing. Because, like, he's there, too.
That's why I call him Kate and Clint. And that is in, or
Right.
Kate and Hawkeye, because he's Hawkeye.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird.
They just looked exactly alike, and it confused me for a minute.
Yeah.
I was like, but it's probably necessary.
There was a time when Clint was dead, and she took on the name, and it kind of stuck. So,
Okay.
yeah. Anyway, my number one, of course, is Action Comics 1008, which I gave 4.5 stars. I actually really like this issue. I thought this was probably the strongest, aside from the conversation that Lois had with her dad in a previous issue, or I can't remember.
That was the last issue.
Yeah. Aside from that, I think this was the best Bendis writing on a Superman book, and it's, you know,
Even though Superman's in like 3 pages.
I know, but I like the supporting cast, and I think that's the strength of any character is their whole supporting cast and their whole. I like this whole storyline of all these organizations being taken out, and it's like this Omega level threat that even Sam Lane and Amanda Waller are freaking out about, and it's this secret Leviathan thing that we don't know what it is, and I think that's a really the mystery hooks me, and I'm a big fan of mystery. So,
Yeah.
And then you got a little bit from Sam Lane kind of coming around to what he and Lewis had talked about. I was like, okay, this could be interesting where they go with that. So I enjoyed it.
If they didn't.
Oh yeah.
It's probably not.
No, surely not. But we'll see.
Sorry, didn't want to spoil it.
No, it's all right. So those are our ratings and rankings. Let us know what you thought in the comments below and what your favorite books of the week were. And tune in to Frontline Live to hear me talk with the other Frontliners more about more books and more rankings and more ratings and all that good stuff.
Because his official rankings are never these.
Yeah. I think I'm going to end up reading like 24 books this week. So anyway.
Hopefully one of our books isn't going to end up being your worst pick again like it was last week.
I don't think. No, I'm pretty certain that I've read my worst pick, and it's not any of these. So anyway, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe and notification bell so you get updates on all the content going up to this channel. You can follow me at Brant Fowler on Facebook and Twitter. Both of us at Less Than Press on Instagram. You can also follow you. Actually, both of us kind of at Little Victories YT on Instagram as well.
That is true.
Yes. And until next time, thanks for watching. Bye.